So let it
Yeah.
go on and then, yeah. Great, guys. Welcome, whoever has joined us now. We're just waiting for a couple of more minutes before we bring out all the love at checkout for everyone. Trust me, I have not been practicing that all day. But the exciting lineup that you guys already know of are all here, wide awake, trying to give you a lot of cool tips and info. So we'll just get kickstarted in a few minutes. Any questions, any thoughts for anybody? And I'm sure a lot of these guys here, they have a fan following. So guys, feel free to just bombard the comment sections. Bring in your thoughts and points. I will, yes, moderate them, but hopefully we're all gonna have a good conversation. All right, see people joining in, which is good. I can see people from different time zones as well, which is really encouraging. Lots of coffee and wine with some different parts, I hope. Yeah. And then we'll let Ankit tell us about the coolest drink that ever is, right? So, yeah. All right, guys, so let's kickstart because we have a lot of ground to cover, right? And we will get away and get out of the most boring part of this conversation right out of the door, which is when we talk a little bit about why we did this and who am I, kind of a thing, so that we come to the interesting part. So, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining and showing us the love, right? Because it's all about Valentine's. It's all about how we love our customers and what the best that we want to bring them. And the way Mr. Godfather always says, right? Make them a loving offer they can't refuse, kind of thing. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about. So I'm Shwetank. I'm founder and CEO of Kui. We are an integrated personalization tool on Shopify. We've been working and learning with a lot of people here on the call. So that's been the best thing that's happened to us because all of the guys out here are really amazing at what they do. And the idea was to bring them together in a nice conversation so that we as a community we all learn from each other, right? So want to give very quick context about the whole topic and why we chose that before we're going to start with introductions where everybody tells us about themselves. So in the past few months, the more networking events and more conversations I was having with different brand owners. Trust me, I've also heard Black Friday as that time of the year when people are like, "Oh, I don't like it at all. I just don't want it. I detest it. I hate it." And they use some more words that I'm not allowed to kind of speak here, right? But after that time, where hopefully a lot of you got a lot of sales and a lot of data, right? This is the first biggest event of the year where you have to utilize a lot of those learnings, right? I'm sure all of you have done your P&Ls to find out how much really you made money in terms of those sales, what were the margins, how they stacked up for you. And now is the time to see that this opportunity, which is traditionally only for food, wine, and things like that, is kind of expanding, and can brands make something most out of it? So, NRF, actually says that Valentine's Day as a global event is, generates sales of about $22 billion, right? And luckily for us, this is growing year on year. Yeah. Approximately 38% of guys have used e-commerce as a channel to buy things at this time, right? And again, this is also growing. So really looking north and promising. It's a global event. It's expanding its reach to different parts of the globe. And the most important thing is because the whole world is about trying to do something unique and different now, the traditional way of just trying to do food treats, flowers and jewelry, clothing and electronics is kind of getting boring. So people want to do more. People want to do different things, right? You want to show your love in very different ways. And that's a very important statement I want to elaborate to, saying showing love. Only half of this was done for spouses, but the other half of this purchase behavior was done towards friends, pets, colleagues, teachers, classmates, etc. So that opens a very different scale and size of boxes for all brands to kind of jump on the brand wagon. And that's what we like to explore with the panel of experts that we have here today. And let me welcome you all. Let's start by, everybody, please introducing yourselves and tell the world that the awesome things that you guys are doing. So let's start with Ankit, please.
Sure, man. Hey guys, my name's Ankit. I'm a co-founder and the chief brand officer at Avi. Avi is a female-targeted collagen and supplement brand. I started it about 5 years ago with my co-founders. We've done just under $60 million in revenue in those 5 years, mainly direct to consumer. But last year we launched in Walmart and we're about to launch in Rite Aid next month. I pretty much lead everything under the brand umbrella. My background's in design, so I handle pretty much the brand identity, the systems. I also help craft our messaging, our value points, and overseeing community management, brand partnerships as well. I'm also the head of product, so I pretty much formulate everything and innovate new SKUs. So the moral is I'm doing way too much.
And I absolutely agree there, Ankit. So, guys, anything on branding, the cool colors that Ovi has, and all the super exciting stuff, you have to go and check Ankit out. And he shamelessly gives everything out to everybody to learn, right? So that's an awesome thing. Next, moving on, Sakshi, please.
Hey everyone, thank you, Ankit. That was a good way of setting up the context, and I would say that I'm Sakshi. I lead growth and partnerships at Loop Subscriptions, and as the name suggests, Loop powers subscriptions for e-commerce brands on Shopify across different categories. We're currently working with 2,500 plus brands who are powering their subscriptions using Loop, and I'm really excited to be here and to be talking to everybody here.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sakshi. It's great knowing you, and you guys are fantastic in what you do. There were some amazing podcasts written by some really cool people about your product some days back, and just checking that out, I was like, wow, that's exactly how you need to work. So thank you for joining. Looking forward to all you have to contribute. Next up, Zoe, you're on the line.
Hi, guys. Thanks for joining. I'm excited to be on this panel with all these amazing speakers, too. I am the VP of Retention at Audion Hearing, which is an over-the-counter hearing aid company with has seen insane growth since the over-the-counter hearing aids has been available for people. And I also own a CX agency where we help brands just improve their CX, and that's kind of one of my favorite things to do. I oversee all email, SMS, loyalty, subscription, all those things, but I always keep the customer at the base and use everything that we hear from the customers to apply it to all these retention efforts. And that's my main focus usually, because it's easy to forget about the customers when you're in the weeds, but they're the ones keeping your business alive. So big about listening to our customers and really excited to dive in and talk about how we can do that for this Valentine's Day season too.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Zoe. You have a huge fan following, which I was not part of, but that changes right now. Okay, good. Next up, Abhishek, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm really stoked to be with these people out here. Everyone is amazing. I do follow Zoe. I follow Ankit. I follow Will. I follow Brian. I follow Sakshi, and I don't follow Sweta. Sorry, kidding. I do follow Sweta also. Okay, so we are all on LinkedIn, and I get to touch base with everybody through LinkedIn post. And yeah, so I am Abhishek. Introducing myself, I'm Abhishek. I run an e-commerce email and SMS marketing agency, which I like to call as customer retention agency that focuses on working with DTC brands only. So over the last 5 years, we have worked with over 350 brands in different capacities, and I've helped them generate over $50 million using email. So our focus area here, as you were saying, think about the customer first. Customer is the main, like that's the pillar, right? You can't abuse them. You can't give them a wrong bad experience, right? So you have to think, be more customer centric. Whatever you do has to be valuable to the customer. So you have to we focus a lot on zero party data. We focus on a lot on engagement. We focus on a lot of value rather than giving away straight discounts. And we help brands be better using pop-ups, using email, SMS, your channels like push notification, channels like direct mail. So we are not limited to any channel. Whatever channel comes up, like direct mail is a new thing in the e-com world right now, and it's working really well. So we are using direct mail for some of the customers. The focus here is to make sure that the customer's journey and experience is top notch with the brand, and that will automatically improve all your KPIs. Whatever KPIs you are looking, that's a customer's responsibility to do, to improve all those things. Your responsibility is to make the customer happy. So that's our basically goal here with working with DTC brands. Maybe I have already consumed 2 minutes of my time, Sweta.
Yeah, perfect, Abhishek. Thank you. 350 band is quite impressive feat, right? Congratulations on that. Not easy market out here. But let's go on. The one who actually subscribes you to all the cool things he does, Brian.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brian, and I run 100 Celsius. We're an e-commerce subscription growth agency. So we specialize in helping Shopify brands build acquisition systems to acquire way more paid subscribers right from the start versus people buying one off. And then we help build retention and CRM marketing suites on the back end to systematically help you retain more paid subscribers through that second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth renewal period. So yeah, super excited to be here. This is an awesome panel. Love Loop subscriptions and what everybody else here is doing, and really excited to talk about Valentine's Day and how we might be able to help you not only get more customers, but also get more paid subscribers.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Brian. Would love to get more from you from the whole Valentine's and subscriptions angle together, right? That's something which I think is not even on the tip of the iceberg where we are. So, I'm really looking forward to hearing you. And now somebody who's very close to me and I bother a lot, Will.
Hello, I'm Will. I'm the founder of Customers Who Click. We're a performance-based CRO agency for e-com brands. We're very customer research focused. Everything kind of comes down to what does the customer want, what they're doing on a website, how can we make that experience better so that they convert at a better rate and at higher values. And then outside of that, we're also looking at something which I'll touch on later probably. What's the kind of non-monetary value that we can get from customers as well. I also host the Customers Who Click podcast, which is actually relaunching next Tuesday with our first, well, not first episode, 194th episode with Jimmy Kim from Senlane, which has changed up the format a bit. It's now really actionable. It's going to be great for e-com brands looking to grow.
Perfect. Thank you, Will. And again, appreciate everybody joining in today, right? So guys, now let's get kickstarted. I want to set a little bit of a ground rules, and I'm glad I'm sitting far away so you can't throw things at me, etc. But knowing that we are talking about the customer, I think we need to also think about people who are listening to us. So I'd like all of us to be really candid, be very bullet point and actionable kind of things, because it's easy for us to go a little deep because we are all very passionate about it. So at the risk of not sounding rude, I'll try to say, hey guys, can we kind of move on also, because we have a lot of ground to cover and I want to make the most of it. So just saying that. The idea is we have a list of few questions that we're gonna, that we've curated based on the topic and the audience, and I'm gonna let everybody share their perspective on that. So a couple of minutes on each point, and then hopefully everything that we put together will give us a lot and more to think and go back and implement, from tomorrow morning, guys. Right? So we're gonna track that. Let's get started. So this is more from a brand's perspective, right? Like what we touched upon. So Black Friday, so there were a lot of insights, a lot of learnings, a lot of stuff, a lot of hard work that a brand puts into Black Friday, right? And Ankit, why don't we start with you? Is what for you has been the learnings, something that you would like to implement in Valentine's and something further along the year now?
Yeah. So Black Friday traditionally has always been one of those sales where we're very blunt about having a sale. And we make it look like this obnoxious internet sale. And it's one of those things where Black Friday there's a lot of other holidays that are more brand oriented, and you can be a little bit more genuine with the way you speak to your consumers or the way you design your pages. But Black Friday is definitely one of those where you're competing with almost every brand on the internet. So we like to be intentional about it. I think the offer that we had on Black Friday can resonate with Valentine's Day and other holidays as well. It's a discount, but it's a tiered discount. So what we do is we'll have, say you spend $50, you get a free shaker. $100, you'll get a free bag. And that's always resonated a little bit better than the full just discount. So we'll do a small discount plus this tier of gifts. That's something on a brand perspective, we've always seen work a little bit better because the community appreciates these gifts a lot more. And usually your cogs on those gifts are a lot smaller than the discount that you would initially be giving out. So brand-wise, that's kind of the direction you go.
Makes sense. Zoe, what was your learnings and take?
Yeah, and I'll try to keep this short so I don't get kicked off the panel for talking too much. So I actually can talk about a different brand because I was with Chomps, a Better For You meat snack that during Black Friday, and we were actually competing with the fact that everyone now and consumers are prepared for a longer Black Friday season, where we still stuck to our guns of just having really Black Friday the day and then an early access the day before. So we still stuck to a shorter Black Friday season, but without it's kind of scary because it's like consumers are expecting a longer Black Friday season now. So we actually took advantage of that time of just kind of warming up our existing audience and just letting them know like something is coming and communicating with them earlier on, and actually using it as an opportunity to build our SMS list, as telling people like, okay, our Black Friday sale is coming. If you want early access to it, join our SMS list, because our SMS we've found over the past couple of years was better converting as far as click through, people seeing it, etc. So we actually used that season to collect more, build our SMS list. And then we actually saw such a great, it's with it being a shorter period, we're like, what sales going to be like, and et cetera. And we actually had to pause some of our communication later on in the Black Friday day because our early access and our first announcements did so well. So we talked about now we can capitalize on maybe some of those customers who didn't get the Black Friday deal, and we can capitalize on that during seasons like this, New Year's or Valentine's Day and stuff like that.
Wow, well, that's impressive, and very nicely, you funnel this into the next question that I was going to ask now, and this question goes to Abhishek and Will. Is the list that you guys, from a brand perspective, create and curate and over email or by SMS, etc., how relevant it is? Because there's a lot of talk on the internet. People talk about, Black Friday, people will just come and sign up and never come back to you, and the guy who buy now, they don't care about it. What have you seen? Are these lists really helpful?
If I have to go first, it depends on the brand because the list comes from cold audiences, right? So what the brand is promising, who the brand is. So if it's a real brand, let's understand brand. So there are stores, not every store is a brand. I'm not talking about dropshipping stores. So even if they're doing their own fulfillment, they don't treat themselves as brands. You have to look at brands. Like we work mostly with brands, so they limit the discounts, okay, or they have free gifts, like Ankit was saying, okay, and that list that we generate is high quality, okay. They may not be eager to buy at that moment, okay, because they are more cold, okay, they do not know about the brand, or they got whatever, Black Friday is a very busy season, right? They get hit by so many messages. It does not mean that they're not interested in your brand. It means their wallet share, you don't get to get a part in the wallet share. They spent it on something else, they don't have the money. Now you have to divide that list into why and what. Why did they sign up? Either for a discount or what they signed up for that, and what did they purchase. And then based on that, you could create journeys over the next month, like December, which is there is a lot of pull for Christmas. That list to nurture them around January, like new year, new you, depending on the products you're selling. Or if you're a product into cosmetics and you have something for winter, you can actually use that list for the entire winter season, right? Or for a clothing brand. So depending on that brand. So it all basically is more of a gameplay on the top of the funnel kind of thing. And what the store thinks of itself, how is it a deep discounting brand or it's a true brand that stands for the value side of things.
Sure. Will, how would you take on this, please?
Yeah, I think I see a lot of talk about how Black Friday you acquire a load of customers who are never going to come back to you again because they've only bought from you for a discount.
Yeah.
But I think that it will be true to a degree. You're always going to get some customers like that. But I think as long as you nurture those lists properly and you come up with a strategy for how you can acknowledge the fact that a lot of these people might not be too familiar with your brand. They might have just seen those Black Friday adverts, or someone's told them about the sale and they've gone, do you know what? It's such a good deal. I might as well give it a try. But if you can still nurture those lists and turn a good portion of them into customers. The other option, as I kind of hinted at earlier, that other kind of non-monetary value that you can get from people, you've got all these people who have bought gifts or they've bought items for themselves. Like, work hard to try and get reviews from them, get UGC from them, get anything else that, if these people are not going to buy from you again, how can you make sure that they turn someone else into a customer for you?
Interesting. Yeah, that's a very nice take. I didn't think of it in that way. That at least you can always have a intrinsic value, if not really a value, which leads to a subscription offering. And that's where I think I'll start with Brian there. That it's just starting, to see a lot of those products bundling themselves into subscriptions, right? So how was the season for you guys?
Yeah, I think the season was kind of a mixed bag, to be honest. Depends on the brand. Not everybody killed it, but the ones I think that did the best were the ones, and from our perspective, that did lead with continuity offers and or Black Friday offers that resonated with their existing customers' subscriber base. So I think when you're considering building an offer for an event like this, you have like a couple options. One is you can structure one offer for the cold market, or you can structure an offer that would resonate really, really well with your existing customers and subscribers. And one thing that we see is that if you start with like, what would our existing customers and subscribers love? often that translates better to cold than the reverse. So that's I think one thing. And my perspective is that, like you said, there's a lot of brands are starting to become more recurring revenue first, right? So they're leading instead of with aggressive offers to get one-time purchases. They're creating acquisition offers that get people onto continuity, whether that's with a starter kit, whether that's with aggressively positioning subscriptions against one-off. And in a lot of ways, that really helps your LTV, and that helps solve that problem, like Will was saying, of like you acquire a bunch of customers that don't come back without a big discount. Well, it's like if you can acquire more of your new customers on subscription for order number one, then you have to do a really great job onboarding and activating, but you already have the built-in rebills and the built-in retention. So you start from a better place of strength there. And I think that that's a really strong option to consider if you're a brand selling consumables, or anything that you can structure a subscription offer around, is to actually lead with that on the front end.
Makes sense. And stretching this to forward around Sakshi, because there were a lot of products that I never thought can be sold in a subscription model, but they are now, right? How do you see from your perspective this panning out?
Yeah, if I have to talk about the overall global subscription business, we're seeing so many new brands coming in and adapting to different models. And both from the brand as well as consumer side, it's a clear win-win. I mean, for the brand side, if we look at it, it becomes a predictable revenue channel for them. And especially, we talked about the high cost of customer acquisitions. It really makes it more easier to retain your existing customer versus, acquiring new customers. It helps them increase the overall lifetime value of these customers. And hence, we are seeing, it is just going beyond a replenishment model. We are seeing brands focusing on different models of subscriptions, which are evolving over the last few years.
Yeah.
And for the companies, they want to make it easy and special for their existing customer, making it a beautiful experience for them and rewarding them for their loyalty, and not just set it up once and forget about it. And even I would say, even from the consumer side, especially in today's fast-paced world where convenience has become a priority, and it is also one of the major driving force behind all the subscription brands. For the categories that Brian was mentioning, and what you are also saying, Shwetank, that especially for categories where there's a recurring consumption which is happening, and people want to get it on a regular basis, categories like supplements, beauty, home goods, food and beverage, which they want to consume on a regular basis. It's a much easier way to just set it up once and be there with that brand which you are anyways fond of. So it's
Perfect.
definitely growing and expanding across categories, and I think more and more brands will adapt it going ahead.
Great. That was good. I would say overview of what was really going on. A lot of learnings, a lot of intakes, etc. Now let's go back to love at checkout, guys. So I want to bring this entire focus into the conversation is why should Valentine be focused only on the traditional brands? And that's why we're very grateful both for Ankit and Zoe to join us, because they come from very non-traditional Valentine brands. And we would love for them to give us a take saying, is Valentine's relevant for you as a brand? If it is, why? And what are you thinking to do for this upcoming time? So let's start with Zoe, please.
Yeah, over-the-counter hearing aids. So yeah, not traditionally, like we don't sell pink hearing aids. I suppose we can, but there's there's multiple different approaches, but two that I want to focus on is one, pre-Valentine's Day of talking to our customers about gifting the love of hearing, kind of something like that is one of our approaches that we're going to do. And so that's one approach, is talking to your customers about buying the product for a loved one. But then our second approach is also having our customers be our Valentine. So on the day of Valentine's Day is like, I think any brand can incorporate that, where asking your customers to be your Valentine, giving them some type of gift, giving them some type of something, or even just recognizing that or sending them a nice note. It doesn't even have to be anything that's like giving away a discount or anything, or just thanking them for being part of your community and part of your brand. So I think that Valentine's Day, yes, can be a good season for all brands, just depending on the way you look at it.
Okay, perfect. Ankit, how would you go about it, and what are the big plans for OV now?
Yeah, so I think it really depends. I think most companies can find a creative way to portray their Valentine's Day campaigns, tie it in with their brand. But again, if you're just super off brand and you don't want to, try to jam a puzzle piece into a space that doesn't fit, and I feel like sometimes it seems a little bit forced. There was a brand last year, and I forgot the name of it. They did something really cool. It was called the Anti-Valentine's Day Sale. So they pretty much ran a Valentine's Day campaign, but they made it anti-Valentine's Day because their product just wasn't a fit for that particular campaign. So there's creative ways to go about it. For us, the way we do it is, and we've done this for years now, is we'll release a special flavor of our collagen that's wrapped around Valentine's Day. So we've done strawberry or chocolate covered strawberries flavor. We've done a pink velvet. We've done a rose macaroon. I can't say what flavor we're launching this year, but it's themed in that direction. But and then we always team up with a breast cancer foundation, and we donate a percentage of the proceeds or the revenue to that foundation. So I think last year we donated like $10,000. But when you promote something like that to your community, everybody likes helping other people. So it's always been one of our most successful sales just because of that reason. And we're happy to do it. So that's kind of our plan for this year as well.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about, right? Creativity there. So one is on the product side, distribution, creative, etc. That's one. But also in terms of partnerships, do this community stuff, etc. Right? Everything matters, and I think from a consumer's point of view, everything what my brand does and stand for matters to me, and that is what will help me buy their product again. So this comes to about creating an offer, right? And the question now goes to Will to start with. Is Will, from the whole CRO perspective, and making your offer is irresistible across different channels. How should these non-traditional Valentine brands, come up and think about doing that?
So when we approach CRO, we've got kind of three areas that we look at. One, which is usability, which I won't touch too much on right now, but essentially it's, can people find and buy what they want on your website? I suppose that's important. If you're buying gifts and things, you need to make it clear how people actually find these. But the two really important ones are anxiety and motivation. So the anxieties are all the questions and concerns that someone has about buying your products and from your business, right? So if they don't know you, there's a trust issue. If they don't know your products, there's that issue. But in this case, it's going to be, normally we look at it as what are the pain points we're trying to resolve with this product, or what the desired outcomes we're trying to help someone achieve. But in the case of Valentine's Day, you've got to be thinking, well, this person is buying a gift for someone else. So what is the desired outcome this person is trying to achieve?
Yeah.
Because you're kind of mixing it up with, I need this desired outcome to meet the needs of the person I'm buying the gift for, but my desired outcome is that that person is happy with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which then, when you think about it like that, raises a load more concerns about, am I actually buying the right product here? Or do I go safe and just buy some chocolates or something? And then the motivation piece kind of is linked to that as well. It's, what is that outcome they're trying to achieve? Are they convinced it's the right purchase for them? In this case, Valentine's Day, buying gifts, I don't know, you could go down the lines of quizzes and things to try and guide people, but very much Valentine's Day focused, rather than a standard quiz that I don't know if the guys at Obvi do it, but trying to identify the right product for you based on your needs. You take a different approach and you make it a gifting quiz. The other options are going really strong on the trust, the social proof, the guarantees, the free returns, free shipping, that sort of thing, and almost making it a no-brainer offer in that sense, so that if someone's taken a risk on that purchase, you're at least de-risking as much as you can to help them make that decision more easily.
I love the line, Will. No brainer offer. That's really cool, right?
It's not
Abhishek,
mine.
Abhishek, how would you think about it from a communication, from email and reach out perspective?
Yeah, so I would think that any event that we have as human beings is there's a fun element to that. It's a fun thing. So I think there are like 47% US adults who are singles. That's the big majority of people who don't have anything to gift to immediately to their spouse or something. But what can we do for those people who are singles and for products that are not fitting into the gifting category? What we can do is we can give them great fun. Okay, and how we do that here with our brands is we create a quiz, which is not a product recommendation quiz, a quiz, a very simple quiz, okay, like a trivia, okay, about, let's say, around Valentine's Day. Do you know what Valentine's Day is about? Let's say we have 4 questions, we have thought of 4 easy questions. One question we'll put in the email, okay, and we'll tell people, let's play the game, and you will get something in return. It could be loyalty points, it could be anything as such. We keep it mystery. And we have seen a lot of people click that link and go to Typeform. So we use Typeform. It's very easy. It's very inexpensive. It works with Klaviyo. And we have 3 questions which are very easy to answer, multiple choice questions. And based on the result, we then say how much they scored. Okay, it becomes a fun, engaging event. How much they scored. And based on that, we give them some kind of an offer if they want to take it. What we did was we gave them 30 seconds or a minute of happiness of something that typical brands don't do. Brands are more looking at how can I, do an AOV sell, how can I get more sales. But what we did was we gave these people an opportunity to engage with a fun email, see how much they know about, let's say, Valentine's Day, and get some score out of it, and also tie a discount to that. It depends. We are more on loyalty points. So if there's a repeat purchase, we rather give them additional loyalty points, based on the score they do, rather than giving them 10-20% discount. If it's a first time user who never purchased, we probably give them a little bit higher than what they would get on a welcome series email. So our entire strategy here is to give the customer a very good experience, because offer is not what is the main thing. The main thing is experience. How much of an interest the person has towards your brand. And that also helps your email metrics, because you get more clicks. Okay, you get probably more replies. Okay, so that helps you get better email deliverability for your next set of campaigns.
Okay.
And based on the result score that actually syncs to your Klaviyo, you could have nurture sequences done if they don't purchase. We do this 12 to 14 days before Valentine's Day, so that we have enough time to kind of, sell them also if need be, so that they get the products before this. So this is one of the ideas that I have not seen brands do. That's why I was like, kind of wanted to discuss, touch upon
Makes sense.
this.
I think this is pretty creative and innovative as well. And it's all about trying to stand out, right? Trying to do different things which appeals, and at the end, it's all experimentations as we call it.
Make it fun. I mean, make it fun.
Make it
Everybody
fun,
wants to
right.
smile.
Right.
A 50-year-old guy wants to be smiling. 20-year-old guy wants to smile. 60-year-old guy wants to smile. How can you give them the best experience possible
Indeed.
in the least amount of time?
Right. Now, taking this from a subscription angle, guys, right? There can be a lot of creativity around this when it comes to subscriptions and products, right? And it is 2 variables. One is product, and then the offer, whatever you want to do. So are there some really cool creative ways that you come across, or how would you go about doing it? Sakshi, if you can start with this, please.
Yeah, sure. So I would say it's a month of love, and this love could be for everyone. Like it could be a self-love, it could be love for your partner, love for your friends, even love for your furry friends, or simply a way for brands to show their love for their most loyal subscribers. So I feel it's a brilliant opportunity, and what Zoe and Ankit were, sharing about, that it is all about messaging, the way brands wants to tap into this opportunity.
Yeah.
So I would say that while developing strategies for Valentine's, look beyond the usual categories. In fact, I was just talking about furry friends, and pets are one of the largest receivers of the Valentine's Day gifts. And subscription brands can do so much because they already have existing customer base. So it's a perfect opportunity for them to spread that love to their subscribers through additional discounts, exclusive offers, trials, and even VIP perks. So if I talk about, let's say, a pet care brand, they can give a special treat or a toy that can be sent across the orders which are going in February. Brands can also offer discounts to the pet owners who are starting their subscriptions in the month of February. They can create exclusive bundles and duos of their popular products, which can go in the month of February. Very simple things like, creating a special recipe for meal kit brands for Valentine's special recipe, or giving a complimentary dessert for a Valentine box that gets delivered. So there's so much, that brands can do. I think
Yeah.
it's more about, understanding that what is the communication, what is the messaging that they want to pass across, and they can come up with so many ideas. And I think I can go on and on about the ideas that we
I'm
can
sure
talk
you
about.
can. I'm sure you
But
can, which is the fun part of it. I like the
yeah,
furry friends kind of a thing, right? It's a really
yeah.
cool way to go about it. And Brian, in your opinion, what's been working? What's sticking? What are people liking in this whole space?
Yeah, I love what everybody else said. Like Sakshi has, great examples from more of that, like how do you make the offer fun for subscriptions? Really important consideration if you're a brand is understanding whether the majority of your buyers during periods like this are buying for themselves or as a gift. I think that's a really important distinction. So ideally, you would have something like a no commerce or a fairing running on the back end for previous sale events. And one of your questions is, are you buying this for yourself as a gift?
Yeah.
Because if you come into Valentine's Day armed with the knowledge that like, okay, 80% of my buyers during this period are gifting, that really should change your strategy around the acquisition, around how you onboard and activate people. I was talking to a men's grooming company just yesterday, and they were saying that like normally 90% of their customers are men, 10% are women. For like Valentine's Day, Father's Day, Black Friday, it completely reverses, and 90% women, 10% men.
Wow.
So like think about the impact that would have on like your strategy overall.
Yeah.
For subscriptions as a whole, it really impacts your conversion if people are buying as a gift, because the problem is people are a lot less likely to sign up for a monthly rebill subscription as a gift. They don't want to be they don't want it to become a hassle, right? So it's like they don't want to have to like worry about canceling somebody's gift on them like 6 months later. Like that's a crappy look. You look, you don't look like a good friend or a good husband or whatever, to be like, sorry, like I need to cancel it. Or you don't want to have to make them go through the hassle of it. So one
Yeah.
thing that, I know, Loop does and other subscription companies that you might want to consider is prepaid subscriptions that auto expire.
That's
So
good.
what's really cool there is you can say like, hey, you're going to get that desired outcome. We're buying you a subscription for 6 months or for a year. Multiple benefits, which is that it helps address the anxiety like Will was talking about. So helps with the conversion on the CRO part, and you drive up the AOV on order number one. So you can capture more of those rebills just right up front. It's better for you. It's better for the customer. And so that would be something I'd consider if you're a subscription brand.
Wow. Well, some really, really cool tricks and tricks out there, Brian. So thank you for that. Moving forward, guys, just the interest of time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot off questions, to each one of you, and would just request you to answer that in like a few words or 30 seconds each, right? So hearing what everybody had to say, I think we have a fair idea on sometimes the whole creative angle or whom we are bringing it to and the bundle subscriptions, etc. Valentine's is a very different time of the year, and I think all brands can kind of capitalize on it. But now let's get into specifics. It's just getting those bullet points. So at Valentine's Day, for non-traditional Valentine brands, can I have Zoe tell us two things that she would consider for customer acquisition?
Yeah, actually, Brian, it's a good segue because I love that you ask the question post-purchase, but we actually have about buying for yourself or a friend. We actually have a pop-up on our site that has that question before they even make the purchase. And so even if they don't convert right then, we can change our email flows to match exactly what you were saying. And then we also ask post-purchase too with a couple other questions, and love those tools, no commerce fairing. But yeah, I think asking before is really beneficial, because even if they don't convert now, you know how to talk to them.
Sure. Right. Perfect. Ankit, how would you do the customer acquisition differently now?
Yeah. So instead of sending, and this has always worked for us, instead of sending the traffic to a product page or a home page, we do these very curated landing pages. And we curate them in a way where they'll match the theme of the holiday. We'll shoot content that's more Valentine's Day theme, and use more curated messaging so that that consumer knows exactly what they're there for. And we're just highlighting the products that we're promoting. So what happens a lot is, you know, when somebody lands on your homepage or your product page, they have no idea where to go or what to buy. You're able to promote a specific bundle or a specific product, and it's just 2 or 3 options. It's just a lot easier to acquire that customer, in my opinion.
Makes sense. Let's come to the conversion side of things and engagement. Will, how would you differentiate specifically at this time?
So kind of as Ankit said, actually, landing pages work really, really well. You know, I mean, you can use them all year round anyway. You know, if you're running specific ads to a specific audience with a specific pain point, it makes sense to send them to a landing page that reinforces that. It works, you know, even better for campaigns like this, right? If you're pushing Valentine's Day advertising, email messaging, that sort of thing, it makes sense to drop people on that landing page where they can see the products that you are suggesting for them. You know, I guess it comes back to that usability point I made right at the start. You know, help people find and buy what they're looking for, right? So if you're buying a gift for someone and you're maybe not too familiar with that industry or those products, finding a landing page which just tells you these are the best sellers, these are, you know, the best for this, these are the ones we recommend, these are the ideal gift options. You know, you want to make it so that person lands on that page and goes, there's no reason for me to go browse the rest of your website. I should be able to find what I want here, click add to cart and buy. Job done.
Love the simplicity of it. Perfect. From a email and engagement, newsletter, social perspective, Abhishek, what's your take?
I would say that first have one goal and have all your channels lead to that goal. So what's your goal out there, right? So that you have to fix. Is it taking to a new product launch, taking them to a curated gift section, what that is, and everything should be leading to that. If you have the time, you could use your socials as an opportunity to build the email and SMS list using QR codes and giveaways and things like that if you have the time for that. And this is also a very good way for people to actually improve their emails, because starting 1st of Feb, things are going to change a lot in terms of email, how you do emails and stuff. So you need to have the engagement up. So using different angles, like you could use Gorgeous and Klaviyo kind of integration. You could have reply to, if people reply to an email, give them a gift card. All those kind of things you could do that will ultimately improve your deliverability. So from all this, you have to first fix a goal, see how much time you have, because people would buy at least 1 week in advance for the Valentine's Day. You can't come up on 14th of Feb and ask people to make a purchase for Valentine's Day. So all these things aspects comes in like how you plan about it, how much time you have, and then you can increase a lot of other things like the engagement. You could increase the email size list. You could drive more traffic to your PDPs, to your collection pages, to your new launches and things like that. So setting goal and time is important.
Okay, perfect. And all this leads to loyalty, and I think loyalty is very synonymous to subscriptions, right? So, Brian, how would you go about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I ditto what everybody else said. Like landing pages, even like pre landing page, like an advertorial or things like that, where especially if you're more gifting focused, like, you know, 5 things, like what to get for the ex lover in your life, or like, you know, those are things to kind of like set that the pre-frame right before the landing page. Going back to the gifting, your average customer during these periods might look a lot different than your typical customer. And so I would be really thoughtful about that from an acquisition point. And I really liked what Ankit said at the beginning. You know, the number one predictor of your customer's future behavior is how you acquire them, right? So like retention, the number one factor there is acquisition. It's not email, it's not SMS. It's like, what do they come in on? What's the frame of mind? What's the offer? And so I think if you want people to come back, full price buyers or, you know, high quality buyers, like really consider maybe I don't need to do the 40% discount for something like this. And, you know, let's have a little bit more fun with it. Let's do a tiered gift. Let's make it more of an engagement play. Let's create a great experience versus trying to, you know, go for maximum juice on the sales side, maybe maximum impact.
Okay, perfect. Sakshi.
Yeah, so I would agree with whatever everyone is saying, but I think, you know, in terms of subscriptions, if we have to look at, we have the existing subscribers, so how we can tap into opportunities, or, you know, the way we have we are communicating with them, whether it's through upcoming order emails or through the customer portals. There's so much, you know, that brands can put in right there as a reward, or as a way to engage with the existing subscribers. Also, to reactivate, you know, brands can run very exclusive reactivation campaigns for canceled subscribers or the pause subscribers, and it's a good opportunity to get them back. And, you know, brands can offer an additional discount that, we missed you, you know, let's get back together, and it's the season of love, and this is how we want to, you know, just be together with you. So that could be another way in which brands can engage. And what brands can also do is, especially for the one-time buyers, to convert them into a subscriber, is offering a special discount on the first order to starting the relationship in the month of February. So I feel it's just not about, you know, one-time buyers, but also continuing with the existing subscribers, making them move to a subscription model, and also to regain those lost subscribers and the past subscribers in the month of February that brands can focus on.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys. Now, looking at all this, I can't wait to look at all the amazing offers that you all are going to plan out for brands, and I hopefully am able to shop at least some of them. You know, this has been really nice. I think bringing that perspective where we get the non-traditional guys, you know, who just walk into a store and buy a bouquet of flowers, or just go and buy a bottle of wine, means that if you have to jump on this bandwagon, you have to think, you have to strategize, you have to plan. But if you execute it well, I think there's lots that you can do. And then everybody knows in the whole business here, right? It's all about trying to get more and more over a period of time. And then what we heard from Brian and Sakshi from a subscription point of view really helps there. So this has been very, very enlightening, to say the least, and I did not have to go and stop anybody during their conversation, which was awesome. So I'm not the bad guy at all. I'm seeing a few questions already, so let me start bringing them out, and I'm going to take time for literally, you know, a few questions here. The first one is, and I think, let me go, and again, it looks like very brand. So Zoe, that one for you maybe is your email marketing plan to sell out the weekend before, since Valentine is on Wednesday?
Ours is not. Our model is a little bit different, so it's not as applicable for our brand. And traditionally, for other companies that I've worked for that have kind of sold out, we've done like true sellouts. So like if we were really out and then maybe we don't, our plan is to restock. But I haven't. That is not our plan. But I see how it could be applicable for other brands.
All right. The second one, okay, Ankit, that's for you. Is OV launching in Europe?
Yes, we are launching in retail in Europe. I can't name the exact retailer, but they're pretty big. But that's still, it's going to take at least 6 months to a year to get that done with. So yes, we are.
All right, guys, we've just had a big reveal on this, right? Okay, so please, yeah. All right. There's another one which is coming, and I would take that to Ankit again, because I think I know his expertise is there. Is Ankit, how do you think of branding changes during this time? So do you change branding? Do you change packaging at this time?
Really depends. If you're doing like a curated gift set, sure, you can change your packaging, but I don't think your entire branding needs to change, especially the only things that you would want to maybe change are some of the curated photography, and then your landing pages, maybe some colors there, just so that people know that it's a Valentine's Day sale, so use your pinks and your reds. But I wouldn't go from A to Z. So try to keep it consistent.
Perfect. This one I think would be for Brian. Brian, can you give us a couple of examples of very cool products you've seen that jumped into subscriptions, which you would have not imagined a few years back?
Man, that's a that's a good question. So obviously the usual suspects for subscriptions are consumables, anything that you would consume, replenish. But there's also, I think that there are a lot of other kinds of companies that can do subscriptions, and you see a lot of that in the curated box type model. So we work with a veteran-owned apparel company that sells a monthly T-shirt subscription that has an average 13-month subscriber LTV. It's like crazy. Anything having to do with hobbies or passions, right? So it's like you love, I don't know, astronomy or fly fishing, or mystery tackle box, right? Like fishing subscription company. So anything where you can tap into something that people enjoy doing on a regular basis, using, completing, consuming. There's a way to structure a subscription. And if you can't do that, you don't want to send people something every month, then consider a membership, right? So what we at Carnivore Snacks or all these Invigorated Kivo, there's you can structure memberships where you get benefits. You pay $60 a year and you get a standing discount, and you get VIP benefits, and you get XYZ. So there's ways to create recurring revenue for your ecom brand without even having to fall into the traditional subscription model.
Super. I think that's about it, guys. I'm glad that we could all bring in a lot of insights, right, from a brand perspective, from a tech enabler perspective, from experts, right, on CRO to the customer reach out perspective, because this is all together how the entire ecom industry and ecosystem works, right? I couldn't be happier that I see such amazing faces here taking out time, and I know all of you guys are really busy juggling your hands into so many things every day, but your time is really appreciated, and all the insights that you guys gave are brilliant. Hopefully, a lot of people can start using this thing very straight away. So thank you so much. Any last words, anybody? No, just bring me my coffee. All right. So,
Last words. Love your customers. It's Valentine's.
oh yes.
Take some money.
Okay, so there it goes, and that's gonna happen more from Europe for OBU as well, guys. So again, love at checkout. That was the last words coming from me, and I love it that all of you could join in. Thank you so much. Looking forward to doing this again with you all sometime soon. I appreciate it. All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank
Great
you.
to see you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
guys.
Thank
Bye.
you. Have a great time. Bye.